Moving on now to the aftermath of that racist attack in Buffalo, which killed 10 people and caused shock, sadness, and outrage all across the country. President Biden visited the community yesterday and called the mass shooting an act of, quote, domestic terrorism. He urged Americans to reject white supremacy and the conspiracy theories that inspired the alleged gunman. And the president spent more than an hour with families of the victims. Our national correspondent, Jericka Duncan, was there for the president's visit, has been there since Sunday. In fact, Jericka, good morning to you. How did people respond to the president's speech?
Good morning to you all at the table. The president was needed here in terms of the families who've lost loved ones. But there was a feeling, a mixed feeling, if you will, about his visit. Take some video here that we're going to show you. Hundreds of people were gathered outside of that community center where he spoke to the families of those killed. Some were outside praying and kneeling in a moment of reflection, while others were screaming and chanting, "Get off your knees and stand up and fight."
White supremacy is a poison. It's a poison.
Speaking to a grieving community Tuesday, an emotional President Biden condemned the racist ideology of the accused gunman who killed 10 black people at this Buffalo supermarket.
I call on all Americans to reject the lie, and I condemn those who spread the lie for power, political gain, and for profit.
The president was calling out those who have pushed the great replacement theory, the belief apparently shared by the accused shooter that white Americans are being systematically replaced by immigrants and minorities.
Roberta Drury, 32, beloved daughter and sister.
The president named each of the victims.
Andre McNeil, 53, worked at a restaurant, went to buy his 3-year-old son a birthday cake.
After his speech, the president hugged McNeil's 3-year-old son and gave him a presidential challenge coin. His family said he's too young to understand what happened to his father.
My uncle's story and what happened to him wasn't just kicked under a rug like it meant nothing, because it meant a lot.
Vion and Linda Elliott are Andre McNeil's brother and niece.
For people who are angry and are talking about there needs to be retaliation, what do you say to that?
I say you only divide. Don't do that. That's not good. Every person that is of Caucasian or black or whatever is not evil.
Many families are still recovering from that horrific shooting. 8-year-old London Thomas was with her parents when shots rang out.
I was scared for my mom because I thought something happened to her.
She and her dad split up from her mom and rushed to the back of the store. They barricaded themselves inside a milk cooler until they could be rescued.
I didn't know what was going on. I just followed my dad.
Her mom, Julie Hartwell, is stuck wondering the same questions many in this community are facing this morning.
What are we going to do after this? That's all I'm worried about, because my kid has to grow up here. What is the next step to prevent this from even happening anymore?
President Biden acknowledged that there's little he can do to take on gun reform when it comes through passing anything through executive action. He said that he needed to convince Congress to go back to what he was able to help pass as a U.S. Senator in the 90s, referring to that 10-year ban on assault weapons, which some have deemed controversial and have questioned whether or not something like that would actually make a difference when it comes to the mass shootings that have been committed over the last decade. Nate?
Thank you so much. We know that the pain is just starting and the healing will begin hopefully soon.